Julia Roberts kicked off Kelly Clarkson Show after heated clash. A welcome to Drama Alert Daily, where we're diving deep into what might be the most explosive daytime TV moment of the year. Sources close to the production tell us that Julia Roberts, America's sweetheart turned occasional firecracker, was abruptly escorted off the set of The Kelly Clarkson Show during a taping that was supposed to be a light-hearted chat about her new Netflix thriller Leave the World Behind. What started as playful banter about Hollywood pay gaps quickly spiraled into a full-blown argument when Kelly innocently asked Julia about the rumored $20 million paycheck she received for the film, while her co-star Ethan Hawke reportedly got less than $2. Insiders say Julia laughed it off at first, saying, "Honey, Pretty Woman still gets paid like Pretty Woman." But Kelly pushed back with her signature blunt charm, replying, "Well, some of us have to sing for our supper and still get half the check." The audience thought it was all in good fun until Julia's smile vanished and she shot back that maybe if Kelly spent less time covering other people's songs she'd finally headline a tour that didn't need constant rescheduling. The studio reportedly went dead silent as Kelly's eyes widened and the live audience gasped louder than when Kelly belts out a high note. Crew members say Julia then accused Kelly of ambushing her with gotcha questions that were never in the pre-interview, claiming the segment was supposed to focus on her producing work, not salary shaming. By now the tension was thicker than Julia's iconic hair in the 90s, and even the warm-up comedian couldn't salvage the vibe. According to 3 separate production sources who spoke on condition of anonymity, Julia stood up, unclipped her mic, and told Kelly, "I didn't fly coach from Georgia for this," before storming toward the exit while Kelly tried to smooth things over with Julia. "Come on, we're just keeping it real." But the damage was done. Security was called as a precaution, and Julia was reportedly escorted through a side door while muttering that daytime television had hit a new low. Social media exploded within minutes after audience members started live-tweeting the chaos with videos that were quickly deleted by NBC Legal. The clash has already reignited the endless Hollywood pay gap debate, with some siding with Julia saying she earned every penny through decades of box office dominance, while others praise Kelly for using her platform to call out inequality even when the guest is an A-list legend. Stay tuned because we're just getting started on this deed. Let's go back to how this interview even happened in the first place, because the booking itself was a coup for Kelly's team. Julia hasn't done daytime television in almost 8 years, preferring late-night or podcast circuits where hosts are terrified to ask anything remotely spicy. Kelly's producers reportedly spent months courting Julia's publicist with promises of a fun, empowering girl chat about strong women in entertainment. They even sent over a list of pre-approved topics that conspicuously avoided money, politics, or anything related to her brother Eric Roberts. Fast forward to the actual taping day. Julia arrives in a stunning emerald green suit looking like she just stepped off a Vogue cover. Kelly greets her with that massive Oklahoma hug, and for the first 20 minutes everything is pure sunshine. They laugh about their kids, swap stories about bad auditions, and Kelly even gets Julia to do her famous Pretty Woman laugh that sends the audience into hysterics. Then comes the segment where Kelly does her fan question portion, supposedly pre-screened, and a planted audience member asks how Julia feels about being one of the last actresses who can still open a movie globally. Julia starts giving a gracious answer about gratitude and hard work when Kelly, perhaps smelling a viral moment, pivots with, "But does it ever bother you that even at the top, women still have to fight for equal pay?" Sources say Julia's entire posture changed. She crossed her legs tighter than a Chanel bag clasp, and responded with, "Sweetheart, I don't fight for pay, I negotiate. And I win." The audience cheered, thinking it was iconic girl boss energy, but Kelly doubled down with, "Right, but some wins are bigger than others. 20 million versus 2 feels like more than a win, feels like a whole different league." That's when multiple witnesses say Julia's face went full Mystic Pizza angry customer mode and she fired off the now infamous line about Kelly needing original hits instead of covers. The control room reportedly went into full panic. Commercials were called 30 seconds early, and producers were screaming into headsets trying to figure out how to save this segment. Meanwhile, poor Kelly is sitting there with a smile plastered on while internally calculating how fast this clip is about to break the internet. By the time they cut to break, Julia had already removed her earpiece and was demanding her phone from her assistant, who was waiting in the green room absolutely clueless about the atomic bomb that just detonated on stage. Now let's talk about the immediate aftermath, because this wasn't just awkward TV. This was career diploma level messy. As Julia was being walked out past craft services, one brave production assistant claims she overheard the actress on the phone saying, "Tell Netflix I want a kill fee clause for any future press that isn't Jimmy Fallon or nothing." Kelly, ever the professional, came back from commercial solo, addressed the elephant in the room with, "Well, sometimes keeping it real gets a little too real, but that's why you'll tune in, right?" And somehow powered through the rest of the show while trending worldwide for all the wrong reasons. Within an hour, Julia vs. Kelly was the #1 trending topic with millions of posts, some calling Julia a diva who can't handle tough questions, others saying Kelly ambushed a guest and violated the sacred rule of daytime: never make the celebrity look bad. Old clips started resurfacing of Julia shutting down rude interviewers in the past. Remember when she made that British reporter apologize on air for asking about her age? This felt like vintage Julia protecting her brand with the ferocity of a mama bear, except this time the bear swiped at America's most likable talk show host. Meanwhile, Kelly's fans rallied hard, pointing out that she came from nothing, one American Idol with pure talent, and has every right to ask about pay inequality when she herself has spoken openly about being underpaid at the height of her career. The discourse got so heated that even Reese Witherspoon posted a cryptic Instagram story of a cup of tea with the caption, "Some conversations need to happen, respectfully," which everyone immediately interpreted as shade toward Julia. By evening, publicists on both sides were in full crisis mode. Julia's team allegedly threatened to pull out of every Universal project including the Today Show holiday special, while Kelly's people were quietly celebrating the ratings bonanza because, let's be honest, this episode is going to shatter records when it airs next month. The real question everyone is asking though, will NBC even air the footage, or will lawyers bury it deeper than Julia's Oscar for Erin Brockovich? Industry insiders are now whispering that this confrontation has been brewing for years beneath the polished surface of Hollywood sisterhood. Sources claim there's long-simmering tension between the old guard of movie stars like Julia, who command eight-figure salaries, and multi-hyphenates like Kelly, who've had to pivot from music to television while building their empires brick by brick. One high-level agent told me off-record that Julia has privately rolled her eyes at singer-turned-hosts getting the same red carpet treatment as actresses who've spent decades honing their craft. Whether that's true or just gossip, yesterday's meltdown felt like the culmination of that perceived class divide exploding in real time. Kelly's show in particular has become known for not pulling punches. Remember when she made Kevin Hart sweat about his past homophobic tweets, or pressed Taylor Swift about Scooter Braun? Guests agree to come on because they know Kelly's realness is ratings gold, but they also know there's a small chance they'll leave looking like the villain. Julia's team apparently underestimated that risk, assuming the same woman who sings "Since You've Been Gone" wouldn't dare challenge the woman who basically invented the romantic comedy. Big mistake. Huge. Now former daytime producers are coming out of the woodwork saying this is the biggest guest walkout since the infamous 2008 moment when Terrence Howard stormed off Oprah's set. Except this time both women are beloved, which makes the fallout exponentially messier. Sponsors are reportedly thrilled because controversy equals eyeballs, but NBC executives are sweating bullets trying to figure out how to spin this without alienating either fan base. The network has already pulled the episode from its original airdate and is frantically editing together a version that somehow makes both women look good, which insiders say is impossible without CGI. Meanwhile, Julia has gone radio silent on social media, posting only a throwback photo of her and her kids at a pumpkin patch with no caption, while Kelly dropped a TikTok clip syncing to her own song "Stronger," which has already garnered 40 million views and comments screaming "We stand with you, Queen." Looking at the bigger picture, this clash exposes the uncomfortable truth about where women stand in entertainment in 2025. Yes, actresses like Julia can still command $20 million, but only a handful can, and they're all over 50, which makes every paycheck a referendum on whether Hollywood still values older women. Kelly asking about that disparity wasn't just good television, it was holding up a mirror to an industry that claims progress while still paying Mahershala Ali more than Julia for the same movie. The fact that Julia's instinctive response was to go after Kelly's music career instead of engaging with the actual issue has some calling her defensive and out of touch, while others say she was provoked by a host who crossed the line from journalism into judgment. Either way, Younger actresses like Zendaya and Florence Pugh are watching closely because they're the ones who'll have to navigate these conversations in 10 years when the pay gap might be even worse. What's fascinating is how both women weaponize their origin stories. Julia reminding everyone she's been the highest paid actress in the world multiple times. Kelly reminding everyone she was broke and sleeping in her car before Idol. It became less about equal pay and more about whose struggle was more legitimate, which ironically proved the point that women are still being pitted against each other instead of the system. The internet has chosen sides exactly down those class lines, with older movie fans defending Julia's legacy while younger pop stans crown Kelly the victor for not backing down. Late-night hosts are already writing monologues. SNL is allegedly scrambling to book both women as hosts on the same episode, which would either be genius or the apocalypse, and meme accounts are having a field day photoshopping Julia's Pretty Woman shopping scene with Kelly singing on the sidewalk. Whatever happens next, one thing is clear: this wasn't just a talk show fight, this was a cultural earthquake that exposed the fault lines running through modern feminism, celebrity, and who gets to speak truth to power when the person in the other chair literally runs the world's most famous smile. So where do we go from here, because the fallout is only beginning and both camps are lawyering up like it's Armageddon. Julia's publicist released a statement saying she left the taping early due to a scheduling conflict, which everyone immediately called the weakest save in PR history, while Kelly's team simply said, "We thank Julia for her time and wish her continued success," which is shade wrapped in sugar. Rumors are swirling that Julia is demanding the footage never sees the light of day and has threatened to sue if even a second airs, while NBC is counter-threatening to air it unedited because they own the content and the ratings would pay for the entire season. Behind the scenes, mutual friends like Chris and Oprah are reportedly trying to broker peace over group text. But sources say Julia isn't ready to apologize and Kelly isn't sorry for asking a question millions of women want answered. The real winner here might end up being Netflix, because all anyone can talk about is streaming Leave the World Behind to see if Julia's performance justifies that paycheck. Spoiler: it absolutely does. This incident has also sparked a larger conversation about boundaries on talk shows. Do hosts owe guests kid gloves treatment, or do celebrities owe the public transparency when they're promoting projects with our money? Whatever your take, one thing is certain: daytime television just got its most dramatic moment since Ellen's infamous toxic workplace scandal, and Kelly Clarkson just proved she can go toe-to-toe with anyone, even America's actual sweetheart. We'll be following every development because, trust me, the second these two are in the same room again, whether it's the Oscars, a charity gala, or divine intervention, the world will stop spinning. Until then, grab your popcorn, refill your tea, and hit that subscribe button, because the Julia Roberts-Kelly Clarkson feud is the gift that keeps on giving, and we are here for every single messy minute of it. Peace out.